Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something that I make sure I bring up anytime I'm talking to a group of people, especially new people. For those of you who've been gun owners for a long time, this might seem repetitive. Thank you for watching anyway, but I just want to talk about gun safety because that's the number one thing, is having the gun and being safe with the gun. The number one thing for gun safety is treat every gun as if it were loaded. Treat every gun as if it were loaded, because that way you won't have an accidental discharge. If you think that it's loaded or you treat it like it's loaded, you won't do something silly like pulling the trigger when it's loaded. And I don't care if you just watch someone empty the magazine, take out the round, hand it to you, until you have checked to make sure your gun is clear, that gun is loaded. Now, one of the things you can do is visually and physically inspect. So visual, I can see there's no magazine. Physically, I can put my finger in the magazine well. Same thing, I can see there's no bullet. I can feel that there's no bullet. Now I know this is a safe weapon. That being said, I can pull the trigger, make bang bang noises, whatever. This is a safe weapon. But until you've checked, you need to treat it as if it were a loaded weapon. Also, keep your finger outside of the trigger guard until you are ready to shoot. Finger stays outside the trigger guard. And there's a couple reasons for this. One, if you're at the range and you're getting on target or you're doing something, if your finger's on and you bump, you could end up shooting where you're not expecting to. Also, if you're in a shooting situation, are you going to be nervous, scared, maybe emotional? If your hand is shaking and your finger's on that gun, wouldn't it be easy to accidentally pull that trigger? So keep your finger outside of the trigger until you're ready to shoot. When you're ready to shoot, finger goes in the trigger, pull the trigger. When you're done shooting, finger comes back outside the trigger guard. Never point your gun at anything you don't intend to destroy. And I say destroy intentionally. We used to teach, or it used to be taught, that you shoot to kill. Well, the problem with that is under stress, you're going to not rise to the occasion. You're going to sink to your highest level of training. So if you've been taught to shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, you get into a self-defense situation, you might make a mistake that puts you in prison. I also say destroy because when you go to the range, you're not killing a piece of paper. You're destroying a piece of paper. And hopefully you're destroying the center of it, about that big. Also, identify your target. Know what it is that you're shooting at. You don't want to shoot at something that you don't know what it is. Unfortunately, this is one of the leading mistakes that gun owners make. And just before Thanksgiving, in 2019, I believe it was, in Florida, there was a man who heard someone walking around in his living room. He reached over on the bed and he felt for his wife, and his wife was under the covers. So he walked out and he shot at the first silhouette that he saw. He turned the light on and he saw that he had shot his pregnant wife in the head, killing her instantly. When he reached over on the bed, unfortunately, he didn't realize that the dog had jumped in the bed and got under the covers. He thought there was an intruder. He killed the intruder, which turned out to be his wife. Now, the son lived. So whether or not he's charged criminally, do you think for a moment that every day he sees that child, it's not going to be a reminder that he killed the mother? So keep that in mind. Identify your target. Identify your target and what's beyond. I know in my house, if someone is breaking into my front door and they get inside and I'm coming out of my bedroom, if I get on target, the wall behind them leads to my son and daughter's bedroom. So is that a safe shot? No. Because if I take that shot and miss, I could kill my son or my daughter. I also know that if I just take a couple steps this way and take the shot, if I miss, it'll go into my mother-in-law's room. No, I'm just kidding. First off, my mother-in-law loves that joke. Second off, she does not live with me. And third, if I keep telling the joke, she'll never move in. So but in all reality, if I turn and take that shot, it will go into the garage. And at that time of night, I'll know that there's nobody that should be in the garage. So identify your target and what's beyond. Bullets will travel through drywall. Also, remember, you're shooting to stop the threat, not to kill. If the threat stops, you have to stop. But if the threat re-engages, you can continue deadly force. But let's look at it this way. If you are in fear of death or great bodily harm, and you take out your weapon and you use it, and let's say you shoot the person and they run away, well, wasn't that your goal? To stop being in fear of death or great bodily harm? Once the threat stops, you have to stop. Now, I would recommend in that situation, if they've gotten away, you need to get to a safe place, call 911, and then call an attorney. Because there's going to be a police investigation. And before you say anything, and I talk more about this in depth in my classes, and I might do a video on it here soon, but before you say anything, remember, everything you say can and will be used against you. And everything will be about perception. Perception is reality. What someone sees or says they saw, you will not be able to convince them that they did not see that. So someone witnessing your incident might see it differently than how you believed it to be. So your attorney is going to need to overcome that obstacle. And also, 9 times out of 10 in my 21 years in law enforcement, it's not always what you do that gets you in trouble. A lot of times it's what you say. And that's why it's important to have a good, competent attorney. Thank you again for watching my videos. This is Scott from OnlineGunSafetyClass.com. I hope to see you again or in one of my live classes.
If you like my dad, like and subscribe.